Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies. Welcome to Trey's Trades. Today I'm going to be giving you 3 charts that I think look pretty dang good for money-making opportunities, both to the upside and to the downside, whichever way you'd like to play. We're going to walk through those, and I've got a bonus 4th chart that I'm going to point out today that I think you guys are actually going to be pretty happy with for call and put scenarios. So we're going to dig into that, not try and make this very long, dive into sort of if this, then that scenarios, and send you on your way so that you can do whatever you'd like to do. I like your purpose saying I'm not a financial advisor or expert, so please take what I say with a grain of salt. But nonetheless, here we go. The 3 charts that I'd like to look at today are NVIDIA, NEO, Tesla, and as a bonus, AMC, because it is actually primed for a breakout and a nice cycle for a bullish run, according to how we finished off the day here the last Friday. So to start off, NVIDIA, right? There's a couple key levels that I've got marked out right here, and sort of the premise that I should outline is that these are charts that look good for the entirety of the week, and I'm looking for specific requirements to be met in order to play these given charts, right? So weekly outlook, right? You're looking for either A, channel trading, meaning it continues on with channel trading, you're able to take advantage of channel trading, or B, breakouts. All 3 of these charts are set up specifically for this so that you can play it regardless of what happens and make some money if you'd like to do so. So we're gonna look at all 3 of these charts as such, and then you can do whatever you'd like to do. NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA is primed as we speak right now to break out of a very large scale, long time frame falling wedge. If you don't know what a falling wedge is, this is a bullish reversal pattern, right? A falling wedge has a falling level of resistance, a falling level of support that forms out a wedge as such, and typically bounces back and forth between these levels until eventually breaking out. That is exactly where NVIDIA lies right now. It has bounced back and forth between these levels, back and forth, bing bong, since all the way back to 24 January of 2022. And last Friday, NVIDIA finally just kind of tickled the pickle of the falling resistance line. And you can see that alongside this, may I add, on the 1-hour time frame, a lot of volume flowed in end of day. Another key factor, and something that I find to be quite interesting, is if you were to look at ShatterQuant, which essentially measures social sentiment and the activity behind sort of how many people talk about these given tickers, NVIDIA is very high up there on the list alongside Tesla, which we will be talking about later today. Overall, the sentiment does appear to be bullish. There is also a amount of negative sentiment, bearish sentiment, and we're going to prepare you for either way that you'd like to sort of play this. I just wanted to bring this chart to your attention. You can do whatever you'd like for the week, right? So in the scenario that you do get continuation, this is what I always look for. You have to have your own sort of guideline, own set of principles that you would follow. But for breakouts, I always like to see a push up followed by a push back down, a retracement of sorts to bounce off of any particular level and then come back up for a push. And I have these levels drawn up, right? These white lines are the falling wedge. This green line is sort of what I would consider to be a speed line, quote unquote. It's a level in which you can expect some resistance. And if you break above it, you'd likely get a large push up. So this would be a play that would be favorable for calls, particularly. This is what I'm watching for myself for a breakout, right? So I would be looking for, on a breakout, a push up beyond this level, a retest of this level. That's very key here for myself. And then I would be looking for an entry on a retest of that overall falling resistance line, then acting as a falling support, in which you could play, pretty solid upside on that opportunity. If you'd like to play right out of the gates, you can. Just recognize that I like myself to watch for trend confirmation, and if we get that, it does look pretty good. But there is also a scenario in which this could be a juke out, right? And if it is a juke out, if this ends up being the top of sort of this bull cycle and NVIDIA ends up retracing back down, that's okay. This is why I mentioned before channel trading and breakouts. See, what I just mentioned was breakouts, but this would be an aspect in which you could take advantage of channel trading, which is what NVIDIA would be doing if it rejects off the top of this falling wedge line. See, if it does, then you'd be targeting over the span of a couple days or however long it would take, you'd be targeting the bottom of the channel, which is about $135 or so, or a $20 swing to the downside. In the scenario that you get a rejection candle, right? You're looking at the hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, whatever it is, and it comes back down pretty significantly, right? Let's just say that opening tomorrow at 154.27, rejected down, it gaps down, whatever. I'd be looking more so towards the put side of things, albeit I usually sit out for the first 15, 20, 30 minutes of the day so I can kind of get an idea and a feel for overall trend. But nonetheless, NVIDIA is looking really nice for a breakout. The volume was there. It has officially tapped the top of this overall falling resistance line from the wedge pattern. I'd be targeting this green line. If you're looking for touch points, you can look for, mark this and come back to the video. 22 November, 01 December, 07 December, 28 December, 04 January, 16 February, 13 April, you've got 20 April, and then you've got 02 June. And then if we come up and test it again, obviously that would be, about $174, which is a really nice move up. Here's supply zones. This is areas in which you could expect some hesitation. And the gap fill, 176.60 to 180, I think would be sort of a target. If you do end up breaking that green line, you could expect maybe another extra $4 push to get you up another couple hundred, or a couple extra bucks, which would be obviously a nice move. If we end up channel trading, right, target would just be the bottom of this channel. You can maybe swing it for a couple of days, and that's what you'd be looking at. NEO is currently rocking a bull flag scenario and does look interesting as quote-unquote sympathy to Tesla earnings, which are coming out on Wednesday. Now, if Tesla earnings are good, I think that every single electric vehicle stock will sort of have a sympathy run. It's very comparable to sort of the basket meme stocks theory, where if one of the meme stocks runs, the others do alongside of it. Why is this? Well, myself personally, I think it's because the algorithms that buy these stocks like to buy them in baskets, right? They like to sort of load up and sell all of these stocks at the same time. Well, I think the same thing would happen with these electric vehicle plays. And if Tesla has good earnings on Wednesday, NEO would be affected by that for this weekly outlook. But what you're looking at right now, channel trading or breakout wise, is this. Currently has a bull flag. Here's the flagpole. Here's the falling resistance line, falling support line, and it's been bouncing back and forth, right? If we were to draw out this trend, what you're going to find is bing, bing, bing. And what you would expect now, since it's sort of tapped this twice, it's double bottomed, is a retap back up to about $21.70. If it's to continue with this channel trading of the overall bull flag. Now, most of the time, bull flags end up being bullish, if that makes sense. So you'd expect this to eventually break out. Doesn't mean it will, but I would be targeting this on a more bullish scenario rather than a bearish scenario, right? Where you'd be looking to play puts on NVIDIA, or not NVIDIA, NEO, is if it ends up breaking beneath this overall channel at about $19.80 or so. You can draw these up yourself, right? Just look for the falling levels, tap, 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 tap. You draw the dots, you connect the dots, and you've got yourself some resistance lines and support lines to be watching. That myself is what I'd be looking for. Sorry, I'm so sweaty. My air conditioner's in my bedroom, and I've got it shut because my cat's being being nuts. But nonetheless, it looks pretty good. I'd be favoring more so the channel trading aspect of this, unless Tesla's got really good earnings. I think this play would take a couple more days to develop. I wouldn't be looking crazy on Monday, Tuesday, unless Tesla really gets some momentum behind it. And that brings us to the actual Tesla chart itself. R&R wise, risk reward wise, I think the best overall entry for NEO would be to target that bottom line, right? An entry on a call here is likely your best scenario. You could always play a call hoping for that breakout, but there's always going to be more risk associated for a rejection versus respecting the trend, respecting the pattern, and looking for that entry on the bottom of that overall channel of the bull flag, right? Obviously, if it breaks out here, you look pretty good. If it rejects, I'd just look to wipe your hands clean. You made a couple bucks, Tesla. Earnings on Wednesday, right? I think that it could sort of bounce either way. This is a pennant formation, but why I like Tesla's chart is that it's at the top of the pennant, right? So there's two ways that this can sort of go. I look for if this, then that's. If it breaks out from this overall channel, then I would like to play calls, right? And then I'd be looking at sort of this green level momentum, $777.90. You could just say $778. Would look pretty good. Typically, breakout plays are a little bit more risky than channel trading, right? Because you have the opportunity to be juked out, faked out, whatever it may be, right? And one thing that I'd be looking for in particular is overall volume. You see, if you remember correctly, when I showed you NVIDIA, if we change this to the hour time frame, the last hour of the day when it started to sort of tap dance with the top of that overall channel, the volume really picked up significantly. And this tells you that buyers really want to push this for that breakout. Always look for volume on breakouts. If volume doesn't go up, you're more inclined to believe this is going to be a fake out breakout. See, with Tesla, you'd expect the same thing. Change it to the hour time frame. Be watching. If it ends up coming up to this overall falling level of the pennant, right? Watch for volume to start peaking, increasing as it breaks out from that overall line. If it doesn't, and remember that there's earnings on Wednesday, so implied volatility, which is essentially the pricing of the contracts, is going to be higher. Personally, I don't like holding earnings plays overnight, so I would not be looking to play Tesla overnight, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. I would. That's just me, right? If you like to take the risk, the chance, you have at it. I'm not myself a guy that enjoys earnings plays. I don't like the implied volatility. I don't like the chance of getting smoked out on those sort of things. I'd be looking for intraday on Tesla. But if it ends up not breaking out, if it rejects, what I would be watching for is this pattern to continue to play out, right? It would probably reject off this, and you'd be targeting the bottom of this overall pennant. That would be a put opportunity. So if it rejects off the top of this falling resistance line, then I'd be looking for a put and for a target of the bottom of the pennant as a swing, if you're going to swing it. Intraday, if you don't want to swing, right? If you're up 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever, you can take money and walk away, and you're going to be looking pretty good. The last chart is AMC. Now, I want to talk about this because it did actually have a very micro breakout. 1, 2, 3, 4 days worth of small scale bear trend, right? A falling resistance line was actually broken out of coming into the close on Friday. See, if you look at the 15-minute chart, what you're going to find is volume slowly ramped up, which I always look for. I find this to be so significant. Volume ramps up, and then into the close, the highest volume bar on the day was green volume, bringing us to that overall $15.37 level, up 2% at the close, which is phenomenal. This does look good, and this would incline myself to believe that you could see some continuation going into Monday. I would be bullish on AMC going into Monday. I'd be targeting that 1614 level as momentum, followed by 1662, and then you're looking pretty good for the overall stock, right? All of these, needless to say, I think there's a couple key things that you need to know if you want to play these charts. Number one, have a plan for both entry and exit, right? Number two, risk reward. Make sure that you have a strategy that you are following. If you not have a strategy, if you don't have a plan, don't play these. It's okay, right? I'm just kind of going over charts because I think this is interesting. I think they're nice charts. And if you're interested in them too, well, these are the things that I'm personally watching for. So that's what I've got for the video. Hopefully that was valuable to you. I'm going to be watching these three charts throughout the entirety of the week because I think they are very close to big moves in either direction. I'm personally favoring the bullish side on all four of these charts to be, matter of factish, but nonetheless, you're prepared for any scenario that would come your way. So that's what I've got for you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, appreciate you. Much love, like taps, and peace.